Welcome to Introduction to Report Studio. This is the advanced video series, so we're going to be covering some more difficult or intermediate concepts in Report Studio. And in the course overview for Report Studio Advanced, we're going to learn prompt pages, keeping our prompts separate from the report page for a cleaner look and feel of the report, conditional formatting and variables, joins and unions, where we can make customizations without modifying the package, creating dashboards, drill-through reports that pair nicely with those dashboards, and active reports. This first concept that we're going to be talking about is prompt pages. And in this video, we're going to take a look at adding a prompt page, creating queries for the prompts, linking the queries to the prompts, linking the prompts to the report as filters. And let's go ahead and get started. So back in my folders, I have my report here. We're going to go ahead and open this up. And if you're following along from the previous section, we did have a prompt in the report page. I want to get rid of that because it's cluttering up my report page and I want it to render a little bit cleaner. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that and we'll go ahead and click Save. Now remember, that prompt that we had in there was tied to a query. Since we deleted that prompt, if we go into Query Explorer, you're going to notice that our query is now missing for the product line. So we're going to go ahead and mouse over Page Explorer. I'm going to click on Prompt Pages. And our only option in here is to click and drag a page from the toolbox into the prompt pages area. You're going to see it automatically names it prompt page 1, which is perfect. We'll go ahead and double click on that. Next up, we're going to drag a table into the main design area. And the only modification I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep it 2 columns. I'm going to make it 3 rows. And I'm going to uncheck maximize width. You want to do this if you have a large monitor, so that way you don't have a 24-inch wide table in the middle of your screen. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And now I'm going to drag in text item. We're going to say, you'll notice there's a little small area to drag it into. So I'm going to say select product line. I'm going to drag another one here, select product type. Next up, we're going to go ahead and go to our Query Explorer. I'm going to click on the queries link itself because I want to be able to drag a new query into the Query Explorer. And I'm going to call this one Q product line type. Now we'll double click on this, and under the sales query and products, you can drag in product line and product type. So these are the only two query items we're going to have in this query. Now we'll go back to our Page Explorer, prompt pages, and we have these 2 boxes here that we're going to drag some value prompts into. So we're going to click on my toolbox, scroll down, go ahead and drag in value prompt. So we already have this particular product line parameter in there because that was still in there from our previous report. So I'm going to click Next. I'm going to uncheck Create New Query and Finish. Then next up, I'm going to go ahead and drag in a new value prompt. Since we don't have an existing one, because we only have product line in there, I'm going to go ahead and create new, lowercase p for parameter. This one's going to be product type. Again, I always prefix this p for parameter, q for query, just to help me identify what these objects are named whenever I'm looking around at some of the various code. And click Next, uncheck Create a New Query because we already have the query set up. And now let's go back to our product line dropdown. So in the query, I'm going to go ahead and select product line and type. I'm going to use product line and display the product line. Also, I'm going to go ahead and click on our product type value prompt. Again, I'm going to map the prompt to the query product line type. And for this one, I'm going to select product type for use and product type for display. Now let's go back to our main query, which is the query that drives the report. And again, here's our parameter for product line. And now I'm going to go ahead and drag in product type. So I'm going to say product type like, and then I can click on the tab down here for the various parameters. Again, if you mouse over it, it'll tell you what that tab does. And I'm going to go ahead and drag in product type. And again, it's a prompt, so it's going to surround it by question marks. You may recognize that from Impromptu. So by default, it's going to make this filter required. I want to make this optional because I want people to be able to run this report for all data or select data. And we also need to flip that flag back on the prompt as well. So let's go back to the prompt page. Now if we select the product line prompt, let's scroll down a little bit. It is not required, which is okay. And however, this one is required because that was a new filter that we put into the report. So finally, just a couple housekeeping items. I'm going to go ahead and put a name on the prompt page, so that way when I run the report, I know which report I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and select the double click to edit text at the top just to get rid of that. I'm going to bring in a layout calculation. You may have seen this from the other report. You type in report name, open and close parentheses, and that will give the report title at the top here in the header, the same title the file name is actually named. And finally, on this report page, we only have one prompt page, so I'm going to get rid of back and get rid of next. I'm just deleting these out. And I click and drag finish from the bottom here up into the table. The reason why I'm doing that is if I have a large monitor, this way I'm not having to put my mouse all over the place trying to get this report to run. I'm going to go ahead and click save. And let's go ahead and run our report. So here's our product line. These are the various product lines we have available. Here are our product types. So if I want to select, and both of these are independent of each other, so I can select first aid, click finish, and it's only going to show me the first aid options that we have on that particular report. Then one last thing we can do here with our various parameters is let's go back to the report page. And I'm going to drag in a block down here after the title. And a block just allows me to put some various items in there. And what you can do here is you can actually we'll type product line. And okay. Now, using layout calculations, let's go ahead and drag one of those in there. And what you can do is under parameters, here's product line. So this is going to display whatever product lines you've selected. And then we'll put in another text item or product type. And again, you can use some case statements or whatever, so that way if you don't select anything, you can just put NA or all. And you go ahead and drag in another layout calculation here. Again, parameter and product type. Let's go ahead and save this again and press play. So again, we'll select first aid, click finish, and see up top here, whatever the prompts that we created, their parameters from the main prompt page, is going to put those in the report header.